grab my coffee.
Oh, coffee. I could use some more.
It's always the best stuff. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So what's up, Carlo? How you doing?
Good, Taps. How are you doing? Now you're just making me crave coffee now, darn you.
Did you want to go grab some?
No, I'd have to go turn it on, and like it would take another half hour for it to. But never mind, it's okay.
I was staunchly just using a French press for the longest time, and then I just got sick and tired of just like emptying it out to make a new coffee. So I went back to the drip.
Okay.
It's glorious now. I just always have coffee ready. You know, just mixing it in my cream.
There you go. That's good. Yeah, no, I got last year. Was it last year? It was beginning of this. No, it was the beginning of this year. Oh, silly camera. I caved in and I bought a proper cappuccino espresso maker, a Bazzera, and it's life changing. It's awesome. It is so awesome. The only thing is, it takes like, what is it? It takes about a half hour in the morning to get it warmed up and everything to proper brew temperature. And so it's like, you got to set it up first, then I'll go take my shower and stuff, and then come back and it'll be ready to go. But, I'd have to go up right now and turn it back on, let it warm up and everything. So
it makes me wonder. I wonder how many like people in the audiophile community are are big coffee snobs. Because like there's a whole process like you just described to making coffee.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you've got to think... I've got to think that there's got to be a whole bunch of like coffee snobs within the hi-fi space.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. There's got to be a ton of coffee snobs. It's like, anytime you go to an audio show and there's anything like a Starbucks or like some other coffee place nearby. I mean, the lineups are huge. I mean, and so everyone's like, they need their coffee. But how many people actually go to the effort of having one of these sorts of setups? I don't know, but I mean, at least something like a French press or something, that's like a little more involved than say just like a regular brew thing. Yeah, I'd say I would guess a fair number of them for sure. Yeah.
You know what we should do is like anyone of the 100 people that watch these podcasts, if you could just let us know like how, like if you have a crazy coffee setup or if you have a ritual of coffee, just let us know in the comments. I'd be curious to see like, just because, like the ritual of listening to vinyl, it's a whole thing. You got to take the record out, put it on, listen to it. It's kind of like, it's an experience in itself.
Yeah.
And then if you're one of the tube amplifier guys, that's a whole thing. And people are used to burning in their gear. So you have to think like there's got to be a couple pour over guys in this.
Oh, there has to be. There's got to be a couple pour over guys. There has to be some like wannabe baristas in there somewhere. I mean, there has to be. There just absolutely has to be. It's part of the sort of, what is it, obsessive mindset that makes us all up, Yeah. It's like that's totally it.
Speaking of which, of wannabe baristas, do you are you messing around with like latte art, like with the phone?
You know what? I am not brave enough to take that on yet. First, I mean, I'm trying to get comfortable making like a good, consistent, I mean, my drink of choice is cappuccinos, and that's I'm trying to get good at making a solid, consistent, shot, pull, whatever you want to call it, and the right thing, and getting the foaming right. I'm less concerned with it looking pretty yet, but I at some point I think I'll probably want to mess with it a little bit. I'm sure. But right now it's like I just want some good tasting coffee in the morning, and that's what I'm after. It's a sweet machine. I love the thing. My wife laughs at me every time she goes to work in the morning and she sees me standing by it, like, ooh. She thinks I'm messed up.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So how's your week been?
Good. Been very good. It's been a busy week, and just got back from CEDIA, last week. So there was that whole big to do in Denver. That was really good. That was a lot of stuff there. So this week, basically, I just finished, excuse me, getting the rest of our coverage done and posted on the website and on social media. I think I got all our videos up now. So anyone who wants to see it, go to www.hometheaterhifi.com and check out our CEDIA coverage because it's right there. And, I may have one more video that I'm going to be putting up. It's, Well, I'll just jump into it. I mean, we'll start from there.
Okay.
So at CEDIA, everyone was kind of on the show floor, obviously. It's a big convention center. But the guys at Massimo, the guys that do, Denon, Marantz, Polk, Definitive Technology, Bowers and Wilkins, those guys, they actually rented out the whole second floor of the Le Méridien Hotel across the street. So we a bunch of us walked over there and checked it out. And when I was there, I ran into Gary Dayton, who was with Marantz, and he was one of the guys that helped shepherd along the new Marantz Model 10 integrated amp, which you've seen already.
It's the most
beautiful
beautiful amplifier I've ever seen.
It is like, I don't know, God's stereo set, like smack dab in front of you. I mean, it looks like, oh God, yeah, it's gorgeous looking. So Gary kind of walked me. I shot a video. Gary walked me through like all the nuts and bolts of the Model 10, the integrated amp. But along with it and coming out, I think they said, I don't know if they said October or November, is the accompanying Link 10 network audio player that goes with it. And then for everyone who says that physical media is dying, they basically are coming out with the baddest ass SACD player that matches it. That's coming out with it. And it's all three of them are like gorgeous. And I mean, I think the network player almost weighs more than the integrated. I mean, the thing is like, it's ridiculous. All three of them are ridiculously heavy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think you probably know the specs of the integrated. I'm sure. I think it's like
you know what? Let me pull them up really quick. I didn't have them handy, but thanks to a high-speed connection.
Ooh. Like high-speed connection.
No, I got the Model 60 up, but I don't see the.
You know what? Check the press release is up on our site.
Okay.
Maybe if you want to go to the site and look under press up at the top, it should be one of the top few up there.
Oh yeah, so that is again 250 watts a channel. It's got a phono stage, copper plated chassis, fully balanced dual mono amplifiers. I mean, this is just all the feels.
It looks ridiculously gorgeous. Yeah, and 250 into 8, and it'll double into 4 ohms. So yeah, it's badass. The whole thing Gary was telling me is that this is Marantz saying, what could we make if like we had all the shackles taken off us? No, no restraint, no nothing.
Yeah.
And this is it. And these are them. And yeah, it's just, I mean, glorious looking stuff. Really, really beautiful.
And if anyone's watching, it is $15,000.
Yeah.
Which, when you look at it though, and when you consider like how more budget friendly everything else in their lineup is, it's about time they have one ridiculous component.
It's a statement piece. It is absolutely all three of these things are going to be their sort of statement pieces. That's it. And it's just if
they can make a Model 10 tape deck.
I make a Model 10 reel to reel or whatever.
No, like a tape deck.
Oh yeah, there we go.
I just got these on Amazon. I'm making my daughter a mixtape. This is an aside, sorry.
You're a fabulous dad. That's awesome.
So what I did is I got her. It's I think the company's Turntable Lab, and so they had like it's a little beige Walkman. It actually has speakers on the front, so she can play like Ghetto Blaster style as well if she wants to. It doesn't have the best sound quality, but it works. She's 9. And what I did is, so I bought her one Taylor Swift album on tape, which is $50 Canadian.
You could actually get Taylor Swift on like on tape, like
on tape. Yeah. So most of them are sold out, but I got 1989 on cassette.
I thought it was only like Slovenian death metal bands or whatever that produced their stuff on tape or something.
No, there's a whole new industry, and a lot of artists on Bandcamp actually make cassette
I'll be
versions of
damned
their
if I have.
albums. So you can get electronic music on cassette. You can get everything.
Okay.
And so I got my dual cassette deck from Sony. I got it cleaned. I found Cheerios in it. I got it working.
I saw that post. Yes, right.
And so the one thing I did is I got a pack of 5 tapes. So since my daughter was born, I made voice memo notes of the sounds she made, like both in the belly and then as a baby, all the way up to about 3 years. And then we had a second child and we got too busy and I stopped doing it.
Right.
But that's about 45 minutes straight. So I put it all into Ableton. I put a basic limiter on it and to make sure it sounded good. And I just today recorded the first side of her 0 to 3. And then the next side, I'm doing her Spotify playlist that she has on my account.
You get choked up any at all when listening to that?
No, just like she's so really cute. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I know. I do cry. Don't get me wrong. I'm no manly man. I'm not gonna. But it was pretty cool. So I got that one done, and then I'm gonna start her off on the wrong path. I'm sorry to everyone listening. I'm gonna bootleg some audio that I downloaded onto cassette. I won't tell you the artist, but I'm going to do that as well.
All right. You are a good dad. You absolutely fabulous dad. I'll give you that. It's actually funny. I bought. There's a local radio station here that I know the owner of it. He called me up one day and said, "Hey, we have a bunch of old equipment and records and stuff that we're trying to get rid of. Do you want to come over and check any of it out?" Went over there with like a couple of buddies of mine who are, reel-to-reel fans. They picked up like 2 or 3 of their old I think it was like Tascam reel-to-reel decks. And I think maybe one was a Tascam. The other was it's a pro name. But anyway, a couple of great reel-to-reel decks that they're going to refurbish and go crazy with. But they're like big reel-to-reel tape heads. Yeah. They had I actually got it was a Nakamichi MR2. It's not the Dragon. It's not none of the fancy stuff, but it's like I guess they made a couple of pro decks or whatever. And this has got phono inputs and stuff like that. Just basic play, deck, no flying erase head or 3 heads or anything like that. But it was a nice shape, and he let me pay him $50 for it. So wow. I'm gonna get it cleaned up and everything, and I think it'll be fun. But I got about I think 150 albums from their collection. They had a ton of stuff and crazy. Some of it was really rough, but a bunch of it actually that I was interested in. It's mostly the classical stuff and some jazz stuff. Actually, it looked yeah. This is middle of Ohio, so we're talking we had to sort through scads of Mantovani, Lawrence Welk, crazy stuff that your parents might have listened to or whatever.
My parents couldn't speak English. So.
There you go. Right. But I found some great old stuff that appealed to me, and I got about 100 odd albums now I have to start cleaning and listening to, which are fun. So,
do you have a record cleaner too, or?
Yeah, I have a record cleaner. Yep. I got 2 actually. I got a basic one that you hook up to a vacuum cleaner.
Oh my god!
That you have to just manually do this, turn it around, and then turn the vacuum cleaner on, and it sucks up all the stuff.
Yeah. I
have an ultrasonic one in here that from Degritter that's in here for review that I've been using, and it's life-changing.
Really?
I mean, oh yeah, it does a killer job cleaning albums and stuff. It's not inexpensive. It's about $3,000.
Oh my god!
But it's clean. It cleans albums better than anything else I've ever tried.
Do you want to see how I clean vinyl?
Yep. Go ahead.
Get ready, audiophiles. Get ready.
Yep.
And look how I hold it. Look how I hold it. Ready?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah. And this is how I put it down. Ready?
That's so.
Yeah.
Travesty, man. How dare you?
Yeah,
How dare you? Oh, you've just burned your audio file card.
Oh no, I think I did that earlier this week actually. So I did a video for a Fosse audio amp.
Yeah.
And it wasn't awesome, right? But like
Right.
that aside, when I did the review, like I was doing it and I thought I had a good handle on it, and I just kind of went off the cuff for most of the review.
Yeah.
And I didn't follow a script. Normally, I just read a few lines, try to get them perfect, and then stitch that together.
Right.
I went off the cuff, and I was like, "Oh, that was great!" I edited it, put it all up, and then videos posted, and then some of the comments started coming in, and I think I said the word "like" about 150 times in that video.
Okay.
And so all the comments are like, "Hey, count the likes," and like, just like,
I like really like this thing, you know. It's awesome.
yeah, it's like, oh, it's so good. And I realized how much I say the word "like" now that I was editing the Totem review, and I said it maybe like 10 times, and so I just like I had to B-roll over and just take out the likes because and so now it's just something I have to pay attention to when I do a review of. That's clearly the word that I just fill thoughts with.
Mine is Yeah, I mean, I have to excise so many ums out of any video review I ever do. It's like damn it. Yeah. So yeah, I totally get it. Totally get it.
So so right now that's my current video with the most hate of just like I just said it like just hate. Most hate of how many likes I said, and to be honest, those are all fair criticisms. So everyone that gives me shit about just the likes, I'm not gonna say anything.
This is all a giant learning experience.
Oh yeah, every it is because it's cool that we get feedback real time, and so like whether it's bad audio, or if you just missed a point altogether, now you get that real time feedback. It's actually beneficial. You know?
Yeah.
No one tells you in a nice way, though.
We encourage people to be nice, but I mean, you know, you'll have those out there, I'm sure.
Yeah. But anyway, so back on track.
Back to CEDIA.
So Marantz was awesome.
Yeah. So that was really good. So a video is going to be coming out of that. They've sent me a bunch of extra material that I could put into the video and stuff, and I think some exploded views so we can actually see the internals, so that which I'm going to add to it, so that'll be nice. But anyway, I think some of the highlights of CEDIA, we're going to be talking about that. There was a couple of things we did pre-show. There was a couple of pre-show press events. One of them was this huge home theater demo, but it was put together by Trinov Perlisten MAD VR Labs, Officina Acustica. Who else? Was it Barco? Seymour Screen Excellence. So they basically, so all these guys got together and they asked Officina Acustica, which is like an acoustics specialist company in Italy, to build a theater room, basically an acoustically sound theater room, and it's like multiple layers. I think it's like at least 2 layers worth. Yeah. Built it in Italy, shipped it over here. They set it up, and CEDIA will, if you're like an exhibitor, CEDIA will rent you, sell you, lease you, whatever, a box that you can do your demo in.
Yeah.
Typically, they're like sonically not great. They leak. You can hear stuff. You're outside, and you can hear what's going on inside. You can hear everything basically.
Yeah.
This room during the demos, when I was outside and people were going in and going through the whole demo and everything, you could not hear anything leaking through. Nothing leaked out. I mean, you could have a conversation and nothing. You couldn't hear what was going on inside.
Yeah.
Inside, Perlisten had they provided all the speakers. It was like an 11 channel dot 14 subwoofers dot on 6 overhead channels. Front 3 channels were like Perlisten S7T limited edition towers in the front 3 channels. the subwoofers were their like I think D215 double driver push pull subs, 7 in the back, 7 in the front. I mean, it was, and they were like, they're not just a ground level. They were like on tiers or whatever. So they took up the entire wall front and back.
So that's my dream then, my sub-array dream.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, this was it. This was it. Like multi-level sub-array, front and back. And Trinov was like demoing their whole. They just released their waveforming update for all their processors. So this was it. And waveforming, basically, what it does, I guess, in a nutshell, is it makes it so the base is uniform throughout your seating. Every seat to seat, the base is uniform, and it allows it to clean up the base in such a way where everything else is much more clear, transparent. The mids and the highs are, they don't get in. The bass does not interfere with them. Basically, the bass doesn't overpower them, but you still get that sort of punch and that impact that you ask for, that you want, without it obscuring everything else. And basically, the whole idea is the front, the subs on the front wall basically are they call them the projectors, and the subs on the back wall act as almost like absorbers, if that makes sense. That's the way they term it. But however, whatever voodoo they've done with this, I mean, it was freaking awesome. It worked incredibly well. I mean, the bass was tight. It was solid. It was just like subterranean deep. I mean, it was just like, it was absolutely killer. I mean, it was probably one of the best demos. I mean, they had a bunch of theater demos at CEDIA, like a dozen of them at least. This was probably one of the best ones. And frankly, it should have been. I think everything all said done was probably about $1 million worth of equipment, room, the whole shebang to put this thing together. But I mean, hell of a way to use $1 million, man. I mean, That's it was awesome. Great.
I guess for everyone watching, CEDIA is primarily home install.
Yes.
And not generally the most consumer oriented show.
Yeah, no, it's a custom install and home integration, stuff like that. There's a lot of whole house audio, a lot of custom installers will be there and stuff. So it's not like your typical audio show. It's not open to the public per se. It's basically all industry pretty much. And there's actually a lot of teaching going on there. They have like a whole set of seminars that you could sign up for and learn about, home theater 101 setup, all kinds of other things too, multi-channel audio, all this other stuff. It's pretty wild. I mean, they do a great job of educating as well. If you're an industry person and you want to go there to bone up on stuff, they're great for that as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely it's more custom install oriented for sure. Okay. Yeah.
Was there anything else from the Massimo hotel suites? Like there's the Marantz and
there was the Marantz. They also had their little network amplifier there as well, which was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. There was some outdoor speakers and stuff that were there. Bowers and Wilkins Nautilus.
Oh yes,
the Nautilus speakers. You're obviously familiar with what they look like. They look like that sort of sea Nautilus thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Never heard them before. I mean, I've seen them a bunch of times. It's like static display, but never heard them. And so they had a pair of those set up in a very blue room. Like the lighting in the room was all blue.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they had it set up with equipment from Class A. Like they had the Class A Delta preamp, and then a couple of Class A monoblock, big, huge monoblock amplifiers.
Their stuff looks awesome, by the way.
Yeah, it does. It's gorgeous stuff. It really is. So it was interesting because they played us just a bunch of music cuts from it, and they were just basically saying the Nautilus have never really been. They still sell them. They're still on the catalog, and they still sell them. But they're like I think like at least a 20 or almost maybe even 30-year-old design by now. They've never really modified the design per se or updated the design. They have occasionally gone in and did some crossover tweaks and updated maybe a couple of things with the drivers when there have been some material changes, but nothing significant, not a significant redesign in 25, whatever years they are.
It says 30th anniversary.
30 years. Yep.
So for anyone that hasn't seen a picture, there'll be one overlaying this. So it's 4 drivers, and it kind of looks like a tuba.
It kind of looks like, if Poseidon had a tuba, that's kind of what it looks like. It looks like it lives under the sea, and he plays it to, to send the Atlantean army into battle or something like that. Whatever.
Now their website doesn't say anything about what it's made out of. Did you get a chance to find any of that stuff, or?
Not so much. If my moldy old brain remembers correctly,
because it's not the Kevlar stuff.
No. The enclosure itself, I think, is like molded out of like almost like a fiberglass kind of deal, I think. So it's not overly heavy, but the drivers, I think, they're not Kevlar. I think they're mostly aluminum or some sort of derivative of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But importantly, how did it sound?
It sounded good. I mean, it sounded really good. And I don't mean that to sound like an understatement, but it's weird because the 800 series, which is the B&W's top of the line, they've gone through multiple changes over the years, and they've updated them recently because I think they're on like the 4th generation now. They're nice, but the top end on that 800 series has always been a little on the hot side for me. There's like a sort of like a dip, which there's in a lot of British speakers, kind of like just in the upper mid-range, lower treble, and then the treble just kind of like it just goes up.
Yeah.
These didn't have that, actually. They didn't have that hot treble, which I liked. So I liked it better. But it kind of sounded like a speaker I've heard before, but years ago. So I guess I want to say kind of had an older sound to it, but I don't know if that really means anything. It sounded good, and I could definitely sit there and listen to them for a while, where some of the 800 series, it's a little harder for me to do that. I haven't heard the 7 or the 600, so I don't know how they're voiced at all. So I have no clue. I think you've heard the 600 series, and I think
the 7s.
And the 7s, and I think you like them.
I like them a lot.
You like them a lot.
I mean, contrary to what I guess a lot of the media has said, like, I don't find that the 600 and 700 come in too hot in the treble.
Have other people said that? I haven't.
I know the previous generation, the series 2 of the 600 series, everyone was just complaining about them, saying they sounded horrible and grating and whatever. So I didn't hear those. I only got the S3 version, the series 3 of the 600, and I love them. I think they sound awesome. And then I got the 700, and I think they just sound like a more refined version of the 600. Okay. I thought they just sounded great along with a wide variety of music, and especially the music I like. I think they were just aces. So again, that could be maybe I have hearing damage. Maybe
no. I mean, you're younger than I am. I'm sure you're hearing, because you could probably hear more of the higher up in the frequency range than I can. So I just remember that when I reviewed the 803s, the 803 D4s is what I reviewed. The best sound I'd gotten out of them, whenever I reviewed them with any digital material, it was like I felt like they were razor sharp, but it was kind of like, after a little while, it was kind of like, The best sound I got out of them is when I had like one of my, is when I put like an old Shure cartridge on my Technics turntable, and I played some vinyl, and the Shure cartridge, I know it rolls off the top end. I know that. And it was like, ooh, okay, this is nice. This is all right. I can settle it and listen to this for a while. So but that's just my experience with that. I mean, other people, I mean, it's definitely their voice. There's no question, BMW has a house sound, they're voiced, and the 800 series has like tons of fans, and they sell them like crazy. So just like I'm sure they do, the 6 and 7s have their fans too. So yeah. So I mean, it's like, if you dig it, you dig it. So that's just what it is. So
yeah, it's kind of hard to find a speaker that you don't like.
Yeah,
but I mean, actually, no. Sorry, I'll take that back.
No.
I'm looking at a pair in front of me that I don't want to put on camera that I really don't like.
I've heard the occasional speaker I don't like.
Yeah,
but I try to avoid them when I review something, so that way I don't waste my time.
Is there an etiquette that I should probably practice? If I don't like something, do I just call them and be like, "Can I send this back to you?" Like
you can do that.
Yeah,
there have been times when I've gotten equipment and it's like, for whatever reason, it either underperforms significantly or sounds wrong or off or bad, or I just, no matter what I do, it's kind of like, you know what, I'm sending this back to you, and we'll just call it a day, because I'm not going to waste my time with this. And for me, it's kind of like, when I get something to review, I try to at least go in with an idea of like, there's a good chance that, there's something about this that I'm going to appreciate, or that there's some sort of value in this. Because no one wants to waste their time listening to something they're going to hate. And I'm not into being like some sort of hatchet man, where it's kind of like just to write something just to rag on something because it's just, it doesn't, I don't like it. I'd rather not do that. And it's just a waste of time for me. So,
I generally just go in with the mindset that I don't know what I'm talking about, and so that way, like, if I get something that I don't like, I'll text you and I'll just be like, "What am I missing? What am I doing?
What's going on here? Is it just me, or is it this, or what is it?"
And then like I'll look at other people's reviews. I'm like, oh, maybe they're like. There's been a couple of times where I just didn't think of something. I was like, oh, that could be a reason, And so then like I kind of go from there. Because I am still relatively new at it, so the more time in the chair I have, the better it is. But yes, then every so often it's like these things. I can't say their name on camera again, but it's going to be a tough one.
Let's play a game, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone, try to guess what product it is, what speaker it is that Taps is like, not mentioning that he is not meeting his standard of approval.
There'll be a review on it, and it'll be fair. And I won't say all the bad things that I'm saying here, but
oh my god!
Because I'm also a sample size of one, right? Like I'm a bass head. That's just me. So most people that are into this aren't. They don't fudge their tone controls. They don't even have them most of the time. So I have to kind of do it from that lens a bit more.
But that's kind of what makes your reviews fun, is because you're a normal guy. You don't take this too seriously like some others out there do, and occasionally I do from time to time. I freely admit it.
Of course, yeah.
But no, you're you, and that's what's important. And it's kind of like it's like a reminder of like sometimes it's like, it's a reminder of like, you know what, just we can't take ourselves sometimes we just take ourselves way too seriously. And it's kind of like, just chill and just like relax.
Hear that, everyone in my comments?
Taps is coming to Dad and basically having Dad say, "Stop ragging on my son. Knock it off. Knock it off. He's a good boy."
He just says like way too much. Anyway, so what else from CEDIA was good? Like, I'm sure there's lots.
Oh yeah, there's plenty. Okay, talking about bass, SVS.
Oh.
They Nick teased before the show that we're gonna have something special at SVS when we were talking at the show. We were talking to them on the last broadcast. And sure enough, the new Ultra subwoofers. I mean, I don't think they've updated. I think the last time they released their redid their ultra subs was maybe 9 years ago or something like that. Maybe that could be off. Brand new ones right there, the sealed and the ported. They call them the Ultra Revolution series, 17-inch drivers. So out goes a 16, in comes a 17. And the slug of a driver in this thing, I mean, it is.
Is the 16 huge. Going away?
I think I'm assuming what they're going to do is they'll probably these are going to replace the 16s. So wow. I'm assuming they'll. I don't speak for SVS, but I'm assuming they're going to have a hell of a sale at some point. I don't know. I'm guessing, maybe. That's just me. It's my guess on the matter.
I'm Googling right now just to see. Yeah. I'm sure they'll still be there. Yeah.
They might for a while. I mean, but it wouldn't surprise me if at some point they clear out the stocks and these will be the new top dogs. That's it. Okay. So yeah. But I mean,
but you got a chance to hear them?
Oh, they had them in. They had a demo in there. They had their own home theater demo, and they had a couple in there, and it was like, yes, very nice.
That's amazing.
But yeah, ported and sealed, and there was a cutaway of the ported one at the show, so you could see all the guts and everything, and just. The driver's huge, massive driver in there, and I think the driver itself weighs like 60 pounds.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah. And they've done away with the little, in order to fit the driver in an enclosure about the same size. They've done away with the little display that the current 16s have on the front that just shows volume and input and that sort of stuff. Which I don't know that's a huge deal for anybody.
Yeah.
But the amp is bigger. It's I think it's some dual mono setup, and it's I think they said 2,500 watts or 2,800 watts RMS. So it's just a beast of an amp. And the app, the control app, they are going to, if they haven't yet, they're going to be updating the control app so the sub will have more parametric EQs you could do with it. And it will also have automatic room correction.
Oh.
So I think you could use I think it's where you could use the mic from your phone and do an automatic room correction thing with it. So
that's really cool.
I can't recall if they said you could hook up another mic to it. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But I believe you could use the mic from your phone and it will do it. Their own sort of auto EQ sort of thing. But I think the app, once it updates, you'll be able to use it on any of their existing subs. So that's awesome. The auto EQ won't just apply to the Ultras. I think it'll apply to everything. So yeah, that'll be a nice little, a value bonus if you're an SVS owner.
And do you remember what the new subs go down to?
Yeah, let's see, the sealed sub, it's minus 3 dB roll off. It was 11 hertz. And the ported is 8. Wow. 8 hertz is where they're also in the single digits for the ported. So yeah, they're not messing around. It's I want to get SVS subs as bed support. So just take the legs off my bed and put my bed on subwoofers. I want to loft my bed with a set of 4 SVS subs. There we go. That's the ticket. Yeah, rocking and rolling. There we are. Oh, but
that sounds.
It's. Yeah, I think the price they said was $24.99 for the sealed and $28.99 for the ported.
That's it?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, that's steal of the century.
It's not much more expensive than the current 16s are. So yeah. It's I think they tried really hard to keep the dimensions more or less the same, and not go too crazy on the price increase. So yeah, good on them. Good on them.
That's amazing.
Yeah. They're going to be. I think they're going to move a lot of them. They're going to move a hell of a lot of them, I'm sure. So yeah, it'll be really cool. Yeah, but that was one of the big cool things there. Yeah.
Can anyone at Secrets do a binaural sound demo?
If there was one person who could, I would say Lori could. She is super into binaural audio, so she probably could.
Well, listening
could do
and
something like
making is two separate things. I know, but like I wonder it'd be fun. Maybe SVS can do it too. Is if they did like their subwoofer in a room and just playing some notes, and then everyone else can hear it on our headphones.
Oh, on our headphones.
Yeah, just to kind of
I gotcha.
Like it's not going to be replicating at all, but like it might be kind of fun.
It would be fun. It would be fun. Yeah,
like it's a fun sort of thing. Like I watch. I'm a nerd, so I watch the space shuttle taking off in binaural audio, and I do it whenever I have a sub in or a pair of speakers in, because. What better way to anger your condo neighbors to play the space shuttle taking off at full blast? But it's awesome to hear. So I'd be curious like if they would ever do that.
That might be interesting. I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever thought, if they've ever even considered it, but it might be fun for sure.
You know, just do a binaural viewing of something.
Could be. Or or some sort of recording of one of their demos or whatever, like with like some nice microphones and getting a good sense of like what it's like recorded binaurally, so that way if you have it listening to headphones, you kind of maybe have a sense of being in the room, basically. That could be interesting.
You know what they should do? I'm asking so much of these companies, but like
the sky's the limit, man.
When they do their demo at show, just have a binaural mic there. Just have a binaural mic there, and then just do the sound demo. And then not make that available to everyone that's not attending.
Why not?
As like, hey, this is what you're missing. You know?
Yeah, why not? Why not? You know, it's like Trinov has. You remember how when you used to go to a movie theater and there would be like the big THX kind of trailer or whatever, and you know the sound and all that jazz. Trinov has a bunch of those types of things that they've made themselves that you can download off their site and you know play them in your home theater I should send you the link. They gave me the link. I'll send it to you.
That's amazing.
But
we should just share it with everyone here.
Yeah,
why not, right?
Why not? Sorry, Trinov, didn't know if I'm supposed to do that or not, but
well, if we can't we won't post the link, but if we can, we will.
Right but the files are just forewarned, the files are huge. I mean, they're huge files, but you could download them. And I think it's an MKV file. I put it on a thumb drive and stuck it in my 4K player and played it, and it was like, it was great.
Oh, that's awesome.
But they have a bunch of different ones they've done, so that's kind of cool thing.
Okay.
Let's see what else. You know, on the subject of subs again, the guys at Martin Logan. I don't know. Yeah, they went on like some sort of subwoofer extravaganza this year or whatever. They like last year they redid their Motion line of speakers, and this year they just went ahead and like redid all their subs. So they had like 8 newly redesigned subs at the show, and there were 2 more that like their 2 biggest ones weren't quite ready for the show. They're going to be coming out early next year. So it's like the foundation line is from bottom to top. The foundation line is sort of the more entry level, and they're like a 10 or 12 inch down firing sub. The Dynamo is the next one, and that's a 10 and 12 inch front firing sub. The Abyss is next, and that's like an 8 and 10 inch front firing driver with a pair of matching passive radiators on the sides. And then there's the Grotto, which was the biggest one there, which was either 12 or 15 inch front firing driver with matching passive radiators on the sides. And then the 2 that are coming out next year are the Depth 212, the Depth 215, and those are going to be the dual driver force canceling. Oh my God. Yeah, so they like with base bananas. Yeah,
that the Abyss 8 and 10 looks like For a guy that lives in a smaller place, those two look like, oh, I want one of those.
No, I don't have the pictures in front of me, but is that the one that has almost like that band that goes around?
No, that's
a Dynamo, I think.
That's
right?
the Dynamo, yeah.
The Dynamo. I just like the way that looks. That's a nice little design thing, which I thought was kind of nice.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it looks like it's wearing a belt.
Kind of, yeah. But for some reason, it looks like a little sort of subwoofer Christmas present. You know, it's like with the little ribbon around it. All it needs is a little bow on top, and there you go.
Yeah, I mean, those are definitely, so they're both 10 and 12s. But the Abyss, that one has my heart, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, they just look really cute. It's really not the best description for it.
One of the nice things is, I think, all except the Foundation, all these guys come with, I think for the Foundation it's extra, but for all these guys come with like a wireless kit included in with it, so you can hook the subs up wirelessly, which is genius. You know, I think that's awesome. So
I got that. I think I mentioned our last one. I got the SVS wireless kit for subs for my old house, and it's just a game changer. Like, it's so easy to use, and there's no lag that I can discern, and you just get rid of all the wires. So
I know, yeah, totally. I may have to look into doing that for my rear subs, because right now I have like XLR cables running on the whole length of the room. And well, my wife, God bless her, just like, it's your home theater, you could do what you want, this is your room, I have the rest of the house. It drives her nuts. So like, one of these days I'll have to see about redoing that. But that's the wireless is a cool deal. So Martin Logan went like sub bananas, so they were it was very, very cool.
Which ones do they have paired with their motion series?
I don't know, to be perfectly honest. I think it was in the demo. Well, the demo they had, they weren't using the motions. They were using the electrostats in the demo, and I think they had like Abyss subs in the demo they had there.
Oh, they have a motion. Is that AFX? No, that's sorry, that's their. What is that? Oh, that's their Atmos module. Yeah. Doesn't I guess you can pretty much use any.
You could use any of them. You could use any of them. Yeah. So I think they've kind of, like I said, they redid the motion last year, so it's kind of a little more defined. And now I think the subs, I think they were a little less defined last year, and now but they've just kind of have like it looks more organized now. So I'm sure but you can mix and match any of these things for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
There's that motion line still has my heart. I really like them.
Yeah. I have the XT F200 actually right.
Do you really?
Right there.
Oh, you.
Yep.
You.
I gotta finish. No, I gotta finish doing some measurements on them. But they're dynamite. They are absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, I'm not low key jealous. I'm just jealous. Those are.
Well, sometimes the boss gets to pull rank. And,
I get it.
It's nice to be the boss one of these.
Hey, but has anyone from Secrets? This is just me, just being a. Has anyone reviewed the F20 or F10?
Not yet. Well, actually, that's not true. Jim Milton, I think, reviewed one of them. I forget which one though.
Okay.
But
well, whichever one hasn't been, send it my way.
we can arrange this. Yes. I mean, Paradigm likes you, and you're just down the street from them, so it's like you could go pick them up yourself.
And I could drop them off. Like, think of the FedEx cost you'll be saving of just like.
They'll be saving. I mean, totally. I mean, you'll be their best buddy.
Yeah. I'll also be over. I'll be that guy that just keeps coming over for no reason. It's like, hey,
just like hanging out outside Paradigm. Like,
you ever watch? Did you ever watch Martin?
No, I never did.
So anyone that did, we're of the age. I'd be like Brahman from the 5th floor, where he just comes down the fire escape and just climbs through the window and just comes to hang out.
It almost sounds like Kramer from Seinfeld or whatever, except he knocks on the door, or he just opens the door and comes in.
No, Brahman, he would just kind of climb down, he'd just always, and be like, who are you? He's like, I'm Brahman from 5th floor. You're just there. And so that would be me to Paradigm. If they open their door to me, I would never leave.
Oh man,
I would overstay my welcome at Paradigm.
I'm sure they wouldn't mind.
Yes.
Up to a point. Oh man, yeah, so that was really cool. And they had Paradigm had like a huge Paradigm, Anthem, Martin, Logan. They're all together, so they had a huge footprint. 2 demos going on. Like I was saying, Martin Logan's demo had they were using electrostats all around, and I think actually next year they're going to be redoing their electrostats. I think so. That might be something fun to watch. Which it was a great demo, really nice. Paradigm had another demo. Well, they actually had 2 in there. They had one that was their custom install line of speakers, and then another using their Founder F100s, the ones that are just below the 120s that don't have the active bass section. So they had like 7 of them around. Oh wow! And then the subs and then the matching center, and I'm like, that was like a killer sounding setup. Absolutely killer sounding setup. That was for a setup that wasn't, I mean, it's not over the top. I mean, it was 7 F100s is like a lot of speaker, but it's not as crazy as some of the other setups were around.
Was one of them basically acting as a center as well then? No,
they were using their regular their Founder center, the bigger one, in there, and I know that has the coax driver in the middle.
Yeah.
So I guess essentially it's kind of like almost like an F100 turned on its side. But yeah, that whole setup was great and not like ridiculous. So which was really cool. Trying to think. Oh, Monitor Audio. Yeah. They had a Monitor Audio had a big footprint there, because I guess I didn't realize how much custom CI, custom install stuff they have, but they have a lot of custom install stuff. So they had that all over on their displays. But I think the thing that caught my attention was the new Gold, the Monitor Audio Gold series. They were like, this was the first time they were showing them in North America, apparently at CEDIA, and yeah, they were beautiful looking speakers. Definitely not inexpensive, but all Monitor Audio. No, there's no inexpensive Monitor Audio stuff, I don't think.
No, I mean their bronze is pretty budget, and and then their silver is kind of like 700 series for BMW. It's kind of like in that tier, but I think it's actually a little bit under.
You have a better sense of them than I do, because I think you've spent more time with their speakers.
Yeah, like the silver range is pretty good. Like that would be like the one I would just, like, if I could, I'd just buy all of them, because they like value for dollar. And so the gold makes sense that it would sit above that.
Yeah. But really pretty looking, and a nice sort of selection of speakers. I think there were 2 towers, 2 bookshelves. One of them was a 3-way bookshelf, which was I think another little bit of genius, I think, which is really nice. I know you like the 3-way bookshelf.
Well, I mean, not to claim like I am an influencer in any way, but I did in my silver...
Your taps.
My silver 100 review, I played, and this was years ago, so I don't know. I know a speaker takes a long time to make, so I'm just going to pretend that I was the driving force behind this. I requested, or just, I postulated about, hey, what if you could, if you made the best bookshelf possible from the silver line, just make it a 3-way bookshelf, and then it would be the best thing ever. And then lo and behold, it now exists.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, maybe they were listening. Maybe,
right,
or maybe not. And it's just the thing to do.
I'll have to email Charles Manette and say, hey, you send Taps some royalties for each one of these you sell. His idea. No, just kidding.
Just send me them.
Just send them to you. Just send them for review. You'll be happy.
Yeah.
Oh man, it does take a lot. But and I love the fact that they actually made an on wall to use in. In a home theater setup, because I mean I can't have rears in my home theater. I need to have on walls for the surrounds. And
apparently those function as like fronts.
They can too. Yeah. If you want to hold sort of like a stealth kind of system and just want them on walls, you could just do them with those, which would be great. But I
would want them as rears too. I think the only other company that does that is Dali does that as well.
Dali does that.
They have like flannels.
ELAC did them for one of their was it debut? I think one of the last debut series I think they did. They had sort of on walls, which are great. Actually, they were actually really surprisingly good, and they actually reached down pretty low.
Yeah.
But I constantly harp at companies who have home theater setups but don't have an on wall. It's like you need to have something like that.
Well, just like, I think even Aperion does that. Like with the one that I reviewed, like the small one, they had a flat one, and it was the best thing ever because even in my condo where it's shallow, but like you still want a rear.
Yeah.
And like when you have a rear speaker in a small condo and the rear's next to you, you just point them at your head. But if it was more shallow, then you don't need to do that. You can just kind of let it reflect the sound out, and it would be perfect.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. What was it? I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
No. It's not hard. It happens when you get to my age.
Dude, you're literally 6 years older than me. Go on.
You see me, and this is what you have to look forward to, my friend.
No.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Hey, I just realized. So I was drawing the other day, and I realized that I had to get cheaters because when I'm looking drawing, I have to go like this, otherwise it blurs. So now are you in cheater territory already, or?
These are bifocals, so these are like the lineless bifocals or whatever. So, but that's all I have.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, I could use a separate pair of cheaters when I'm really close in drawing. Yeah, I could. I just haven't. Damn it! But anyhow. Monitor audio is lovely, so there you go.
Any other more CEDIA stuff? What else?
Yeah, let's see. I got a couple of things here. Storm Audio had a couple of demos because they're using their processors use Dirac, and their version of it's called Acoustic Room Treatment, or ART for short, and it's a similar sort of idea as to what Trinov's doing with waveforming, just their sort of spin on it. Yeah, a couple of great sounding demos. They had one with Ascendo immersive audio, which used all their speakers, and you'll see a picture of it on the coverage. But Ascendo had these crazy big square driver subs. I mean, not the sub wasn't just square, but the actual driver itself was square. And it was. I mean, they had like. Again, stacks of these things, arrays of these things in the demo, and it was just like it was just crazy.
Why? What was the reasoning for it?
I don't know that I got a solid answer of what the reasoning was for it, but they said it works, and for those frequencies, and from what I heard in there, it sounded like it worked. Even though it reminded me of like a giant. You remember when like Sony made like speakers with like those square drivers in like their boom boxes or whatever? I saw that. That was the first thing I thought. I was like, my God, it's a giant Sony boom box. but no, I mean the drive.
They do that with car speakers too, right? Or is that oval?
They've oval, yes, but they did in the past do them with some car speakers. But this was like a 28-inch square driver, and Ascendo. That's not the smallest sub they make. I think their drivers go up to 80 inches. I mean, they have like there's a 56, I think. There's a 32, a 56, and an 80, I think. I mean,
so that's made for your local cinema.
Kinda, yeah. Or if you're psychotic and you want the baddest ass home theater in the world.
I wonder if like there's got to be a dude out there that has a home theater where he has one of his walls, like just a woofer.
It could very well be. I mean, Ascendo might build it for you if you want. I don't know. Jeffrey, the guy who the CEO, he's a madman, but he's a super nice guy, but a madman. I
always thought just doing a giant passive radiator on your ceiling, just to
crush you with the sonic forces or whatever. This is crazy. So as the Storm Ascendo one was really good. Storm had another one with PMC speakers from the UK, and That was a great sounding one too. That was a 7.8.4, and I think they were using JL audio. Yeah, they were using JL audio subs, and yeah, super nice sounding setup as well. Okay. JBL synthesis. Went to the Harman booth. JBL had a couple of demos, but the synthesis one, and there's a video with Jim Garrett from Harman kind of walking me through the synthesis. This is their sort of pro line of stuff. So just like really nicely engineered, but badass big speakers. The synthesis demo had probably the cleanest dialogue that I've heard of any of the demos, because there was, and I think I may have mentioned this before, there was one of the demo clips they were doing was from the remake of A Star Is Born, and Lady Gaga was at the piano and she was singing that song. Now I'm blanking on it because I'm now under pressure to remember
was it. That one?
No, it was like, always remember you this way, right? I'll always remember you this way. And there's a line of dialogue in there that in all the other demos, I couldn't sort of make out exactly what it was. But in this one, it was like, it came out super clear, and it was like, that's what she was saying. It was like, oh, because, sometimes when you listen to music, sometimes, you hear lyrics, and sometimes we all do this. We can't, we don't know exactly what the lyrics say, or we think it's something else, or it sounds like something else.
I can't understand rock music.
Right. Exactly. We've all, for years, my wife and I joke about what we thought some of our favorite songs when we were kids, what the lyrics actually were versus what we thought they were. Yeah. Same thing here, but this was just like, boom. It was, and I looked up the lyrics on the web, and it's like, that's what they are. And I was like, so, I mean, kudos to JBL, because I was like, yeah, that was super nice. And it was a great all around sounding system. The other neat thing was, Sony had, they had obviously a huge booth. But the one interesting thing they had was they had this video wall thing, which was like 137 inches. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't a projector. It was an actual panel, but it's technology that was originally made for like boardrooms or retail things or something like that. Mm-hmm. But what it is it's a panel, a giant wall made up of sections of modules that are like maybe this big. So you plug them together, and as you plug them in, picture shows up. They energize and the picture shows up. So you could go from like, say, I think the smallest is like 100 inches to like 200 inches.
Oh, that's cool.
So you could tweak and adjust the size however you want, given your thing. And like I said, these wall. I think Samsung's got one too. But
is it seamless?
It is. At least from what I could tell from where we were sitting, I couldn't see any seams. Maybe if you like put your nose right up to it, you might. But the picture A was brilliant. First of all, at that size, it was like it had plenty of brightness, loads of contrast. A nice balance. So it wasn't overly washed out or anything like that. But it was like, man. Some people are like, I guess, found these things. They're like, they're putting them in their, big badass home theaters or whatever.
But you got to wonder, like the consumer application of that would be amazing. Like you start, if they were able to go like smaller to like 32 or 40, if you could tack on.
If they could figure out a way to bring it down, each of the modules down a little bit, and make it so you start off at a 32 or a 40 or whatever, and then say one day it's like, your wife gives you the okay, it's like, we can have an 80-inch TV. I was like, okay, like a Lego, you just add on to it. It's like, there it is, Yeah,
and then you never consider another company again, because you can always just.
Yeah, it's a neat thing. It's a neat tack, and it would be something interesting for them to take, as opposed to now it's like, I always wonder now, because with TVs, because it's like, anything that differentiates them. Yeah. It's the differentiators have just gotten so small now. It used to be, okay, 3D, people, the company said, okay, we'll get people hooked up in 3D.
No one was going to do that.
You have some diehards out there. But otherwise, no, they're not doing that.
Do they make them anymore or no? Is they gone?
There may be the odd model that still does 3D, but for the most part, no. I think it's an economy of scale thing. Either you have to do them all so they can do 3D, or none of them. It doesn't make sense to do like a couple of models or whatever. But yeah, I mean, otherwise it's kind of like TVs are only okay. You have your smart TVs that can do all the stuff.
Yeah,
and
then there's like 1080, which is what we're both on.
Right.
And then there's 4K.
4K, which I mean, it's an improvement. I don't know anyone's going to go to 8K anytime soon.
I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
I don't think there's any content.
I don't. Not that I've heard of. Maybe in Japan, like NHK might transmit something, but I don't know. But that seems to be the only thing that differentiates TVs these days. It's like, slim incremental increases of performance or picture or brightness
or black
levels or color space. But it's like so it's got to be hard for them to like sell a bunch of new TVs each year when the new ones are kind of like incrementally better than the previous ones. I mean, I don't know how they do it, but something like this, if you could like, expand your TV or whatever with modules and stuff, I mean, that would be something compelling, I would think. I don't know.
I wonder, I hope they don't do this, but I wonder if like TV manufacturers are going to slowly put something behind a paywall. Like every company seemingly doing now, where they're just like, if you want the smart functionality to work, you got to give us $10 a month. Yeah. Or just like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like I think BMW, the car manufacturer, they're doing the same sort of thing with like features in their car. Like every car has everything. And then like if you want heated seats,
if you want to unlock it, you have to.
you have to pay.
I'll be damned. Really? Was that what they're doing now?
I think they're pitching it, and like there's so much customer backlash. I'm just like, why would I buy your car at this point? Like, when you could just buy any other manufacturer and just get all the stuff already.
Well, everyone seems to be following wants to go to this whole subscription model thing.
It's bad.
And
it's so bad.
Yeah,
like I'm on Adobe because I'm a graphic designer, and I can't wait to not be on Adobe. Like I'm looking for like if I didn't have so many.
If you find any options, tell me, because I've been a Adobe subscriber for years now, and it's like, well, I mean, you have to use it. It's the standard, but
there's the Affinity stuff. Seraph makes it. It's one-time purchase, and it's like $50 each, and they're good. The only problem with me is like if I'm doing like anything in InDesign, like there's no like there is like they have a publisher app that's just as good as InDesign, but no one uses it. So so you're stuck. You have to use.
You have to. They're the industry standard, and that's what you get. That's what you have to deal with. Yeah.
Unless I could become gainfully employed full time again, and then they'll buy the subscription for me. But,
there you go. Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, not that I care for smart TVs. I actually prefer a dumb TV over a smart one, since we have like
I want to
and sticks.
I just want a display.
Yeah.
Like, just give me a display that I can plug my Apple TV into. I think there's no money in that. So,
yeah, there isn't. I'm sure there isn't. These guys have to find ways to. I'm sure it's getting to the point where they have to find creative ways to make money. So, because I mean, I don't know how much more you can.
Yeah, because even to like, I helped my ex-wife set up a Samsung TV. And just to turn it on, you have to go through a whole bunch of like Samsung stuff. Like you have to sign up for an app, and it's just like, oh god, like why?
Yeah.
Can't I just turn it on and just plug in the thing I need and have it work? Like
no, that's it. Gone are the simple days of like just here's a TV, turn it on, there you go.
I gotta wonder though. I wonder if there are like TV hackers where like you could go in, you could buy a nice panel, go in, and then just take out all the functionality and then
jailbreak your TV.
Yeah, there's got to be a way to do it, right?
I'm sure there has to be some. There's got to be some enterprising hacker out there who could jailbreak a TV.
Yeah, and that way it just takes out all the functionality. Sorry, Samsung, of like the Samsung TV, and I can just plug in my Apple TV, and then it's just a panel because they make all the panels, right? So.
Yeah, between Samsung and LG or whatever, I think.
And Sony, I think. Yeah.
And Sony.
Samsung makes Sony panels. Sorry, yeah. I think.
Or I think even LG makes the OLED panels that Sony uses. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I don't know. It's
again.
It's
Let us know in the
crazy.
comments if you can jailbreak a TV. Just
yeah. Let us know. We'll be the first in line.
yeah.
No. But yeah, that was kind of the long and the short of it. I think for CEDIA, the other thing that I think got my attention was Dynaudio had this crazy. It was like a proof of concept sound. It was like a sound bar, but it was like the biggest sound bar I've ever seen. It was made to look like a piece of furniture. I mean, it looked like something that's squarely aimed at the Bang & Olufsen crowd, because it was like 73 inches wide, beautiful wood, on the outside. It had 72 these little wooden slats that when you fired it up, they opened it up.
Yeah.
And there's like 22 speakers inside the thing with like I forget how many subs it had in it. What is it? I forget. 2, 4, whatever subs in it. And it uses beamforming technology. So you could steer the sound to like any one particular place. And I think there's about a dozen of us sitting there, and you could steer the sound to each sort of person that went through this sort of thing, which was kind of eerily cool. And the surround effect it made was fairly convincing. There was a couple of niggles here and there, but it was pretty wild. And they're working on it, and I think they just wanted to bring it to show people's and kind of get feedback. But I think it's something they're probably in a couple of years or whatever we'll probably see it on the market from them. But it was neat looking. It was very neat looking for those who want an all-in-one thing that looks designer friendly.
I wonder if any of the soundbar manufacturers will ever do soundbar that also links to additional units for the rest of us that want more.
You mean that has wireless surround speakers or whatever? Yeah. Some of them do that already. I mean, was it Klipsch had a demo at the before the show? It was one of the pre-show things, but they had one of their sound bars. I forget what the name of it is. But yeah, it was there, and it was wirelessly linked to 2 subs that were on the floor in front of it, and a pair of surround speakers that were behind us. So
fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm dumb. Right.
No. But I think there's a couple that do that already. Mm-hmm. But the Klipsch one was actually pretty nice. It was a good, pretty convincing demo too. Yeah.
The other thing I would like to see is just a way to integrate a 2-channel proper setup with a soundbar. Where I can have
okay.
So that I can switch to music whenever I just want to do music, but when I want to go surround sound, then it'll utilize the fronts, but then also just all the rest of the channels will come through the soundbar.
There may be a way of rigging that up. I don't see.
Is it a pre-out that's active all the time, and then it's just a pair of active speakers?
Possibly, or has something. I wonder if it's something you'd use home theater bypass for, or something like that. Or I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Because when I had the only reason I asked is when I had the Sennheiser Ambio Plus in, I had enough room to just put my speakers back, right? And I liked listening to music through the speakers over the soundbar, right? Yeah. But if they were both integrated somehow, and I had the choice to go 2-channel. I know it's a small subsection of us, but if someone made a super flexible soundbar that also did that, I think your peripheral sales will go up, but then also your soundbar sales will go up. I don't know, but I would buy that, and I'd throw everything else away too. So
I wonder if it's something you'd need a receiver with a Zone 2 or something to.
But if it was built into the soundbar, would
it was built into the soundbar? Okay, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Something to ask or look into or whatever, because that could be interesting.
Because it would be Class D no matter what, or unless depending on the size of the soundbar.
Right, but the thing is, if you're using the amps in the soundbar are designed to work with the soundbar speakers and itself, and there may be DSP and stuff involved in getting that to work properly, where if you just used it to power a pair of straight speakers, you might not get the same sort of result that you're after.
Unless it was a pre-out that was active all the time, and then it went into a pair of powered speakers.
Okay, power, yeah, that would work. I could see that would work. Free thoughts, free product thoughts for manufacturers out there from SORTA HIFI.
From non-engineers.
From non-engineers.
2 art majors, engineer product. That's actually, that would be a fun, like if we ever get big enough, say we pitch an idea and then see people tell us why it won't work. Or like what are the technical things that like we aren't considering when you make a product, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They'll put up a response video that said to SORTA HIFI, this is stupid and here's why. So
anyway,
you know, oh man, but yeah, that's pretty much the sort of the long and the short of CEDIA. I mean, there, like I said, there's so much stuff there, and again, a lot of it, you know, it's very, very specialized and for home custom install stuff. But yeah. It was a fun show. It was a fun show. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So we have hit an hour and 15 again.
Yeah.
Look at us go.
Look at us just jabber along. Flapping our jaws for no reason.
So I guess at this point, thank you again to everyone for staying, watching. If you made it this far, thank you very much. Share it with everyone you know, and we'll be here again at some point soon.
Share it with your friends. Share it with people you hate. Anything, whatever. It's all good.
All right. That was Carlo, senior editor or editor-in-chief. Sorry, Home Theater Secrets. And sorry, why am I still here? Editor-in-chief at Home Theater Secrets, and I'm Taps. And this is SORTA HIFI. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Great to see you, and come back next time.